So a couple of things I would state first is often an IPO is referred to as an exit. I think it's very important as a company that you realize that it's not an exit. It is a starting point for a new phase in the company. The most important consideration, you'll hear a lot of reference to the size of the company and its scale. That's of course one consideration. But once you enter that world, you want to make sure that you can execute in a very stable and predictable way. You want to make sure that many of the things that you aspire to be as a company, maybe your growth internationally, maybe your profitability, you've been in business long enough to turn some of those aspirations into proof points. So when you're in the public markets, you can talk about those, talk about the progress of your business, and then predictably deliver upon those things that investors look for in the public markets. They fit into a few buckets. The metric side of it, typically if you think about growth, of course there's a lot of focus on revenue. In a SaaS business like DocuSign, billings is a very important forward indicator of growth. Obviously elements of profitability and productivity are very important, certainly things like operating margins, but then understanding some of the drivers underneath that, LTV over CAC, some of the other typical SaaS kinds of metrics. You may or may not have those as the key drivers to your business model, but understanding them even if they're derivatives so that you can be very articulate to the markets in terms of where you stand and where you believe that your business model will take you are very important. I think what's most important is, again, if you think about it as a long-term stage for the business, it's a very new world where you will be measured now by a number that shows up every morning, your stock price. Investors can be very volatile depending upon what they're seeing from the company. You might be executing very well, but if you have challenges in your business, maybe your management team turnover, could be board turnover, it could be other kinds of issues, can really disrupt the market and can be a big distraction on the business. So allowing yourself to develop, yes, in terms of scale on the top line, but develop as a business so that you have the strength and the predictability to consistently execute and deliver on those things that investors are most interested in and concerned about in terms of your long-term prospects. Be patient and make sure that all of those are in place before you go.